Evening, everybody. Good evening. So Stacy Stigler, I'm with Montgomery County Recreation. I know the first page you can go, wow, what a combination, senior programs and Maryland Senior Olympics. As Doran indicated, the Montgomery County Recreation Department is the host agency for the Maryland Senior Olympics. So I am entering my 11th year with the county and have been fortunate to help and work with and now pretty much run the entire Senior Olympics and all of that time. I am a supervisor with the senior programs team. The senior programs team for Montgomery County serves those 55 and older. So I oversee senior centers, transportation programs, as well as the Maryland Senior Olympics. And then I have with me our recreation coordinator, Matt. If you want to say hello, Matt.
Hey everyone, I'm Matt. As Stacy had just mentioned, I also help a lot with the Maryland Senior Olympics, a lot of the admin things, so emails, phone calls, etc. And also a lot of my role within the county of coming up on 2 years in August. Doing a lot of sport and fit activities and helping to step in as needed wherever I'm needed at.
Great. All right. Thank you, Matt. So we're going to first get into what we have to offer with Montgomery County Recreation. Um, Here we go. As you can see, here's a few facts about Montgomery County Rec. We have 8 senior centers, and we will get to a page where we'll share with you all of those centers. We also have senior neighborhood programs. Those are programs that meet at our community recreation centers. They're not full service senior centers, but they offer, about 2 days a week of programming directed at seniors for seniors, and typically have a seasonal or a part-time type employee in charge of running those programs. So there's lots of options throughout the county. Of course, in addition to that, we have community recreation centers as well as aquatic centers who all serve with senior programming. So you don't, just because I'm not going to focus on those areas tonight, you definitely want to take a look at our website to take in all that we have to offer for those that are 55 and older. Our centers have programs and activities for everyone, and I promise you, if we don't, we're probably thinking about it, and we're definitely open to hearing your suggestions. The senior programs, as I said, are for those 55 and older in Montgomery County. We have a free recreation pass. You really can't go wrong. If you are a Montgomery County resident, we started free in 23. We don't have quite the same catchy phrase for 25, but I tell you, it's still free, so it's still a bargain to be had. That free membership will get you access to all of our weight rooms and our open gym activities. So you'll have not just the fitness equipment, but in the open gym, we have a schedule for those 55 plus. You'll find volleyball and badminton, of course, pickleball. Can't go without pickleball. Lots of options, basketball, you name it. We, as I mentioned, serve as the host agency for the Maryland Senior Olympics. So Matt and I are both located at the Holiday Park Senior Center. So that's where that office resides. We want you to thrive. That's kind of a little bit of an older, cheesier saying, but as you can see, it really makes sense here. We do have travel programs. We have SOAR and day trippers, and we'll get into that a little bit later. They provide local trips and a little bit further out trips. We have health and wellness programs and services. We do blood pressure checks. We have the senior nutrition program that is available at all 8 of our centers and a couple of those neighborhood programs. And it is a nutritionally based meal. It's a federal program. The HHS runs and we host them. And it's for those 60 and over. So you do have to be age 60. They actually, right now, if you are not a member or participating in the lunch program currently, unfortunately, they're not taking any additional people, but it's still worth taking a look at. And if you do know anybody in need of some nutrition help, it's worth talking to those at HHS to see what options there are, but we do offer that at each of our 8 centers. Of course, we have those rec programs, art classes to Zumba. We have all kinds of educational exercise, lectures, special events. We sure like to have fun with the different festivities and different cultural celebrations throughout the months of the year. You will not have a dull moment if you come and join us. Information and referral assistance. A large part about what we do is get you in touch with those great county resources that we have. If we cannot figure it out, we will find somebody that can. We have access to social workers, as I mentioned, transportation to each of our centers, definitely help with housing. There's a wide variety of programs we can get you in touch with. We have many groups that meet in our centers that are coping with change and support type groups. So a little bit of everything. And we have volunteer opportunities. We'd love to have you come and join us at our center. We have people that help at the front desk. They help check people into classes. They help run classes and teach classes. I'm always looking for volunteers and happy to put your talents to use. Of course, exercise and fitness facilities, that's that great free pass. We have the weight room and the open gym. Not all of our senior centers have open gyms, but those that do have the access for all of that, and the ones that don't get very creative. We have some shuffleboard lines down in one of our centers, and they'll set up a pickleball court. So we do a little bit of everything. All right, so here we have those 8 senior centers I've mentioned. I will point out right now Damascus Senior Center, which is one of our standalone senior centers, and I'll explain that. It is closed. It is connected to the library up there in Damascus, and they're closed for a refresh. So we're talking the next 2 years. The Damascus Senior Center is actually meeting in the Damascus Recreation Center. So that is the address for the rec center. Same phone number. You'll get the same kind people answering the phone to help you out. But that is where the senior center will be located for the foreseeable future. We have standalone senior centers, which are just senior centers. They're a building just for senior centers, just for seniors. Holiday Park, Schweinhout, and before they closed, Damascus are the 3 that offer 5 or 6 days a week of senior programming only. It's all you'll find in our centers. And then we have what we call our shared centers. So you have the Long Branch, North Potomac, White Oak, Wheaton, and Silver Spring are all centers that have senior programming, and they have a senior center within the actual community recreation center. So you'll typically find Monday through Friday about 9 to 4, you'll find senior programming will be the focus because it acts as a senior center during those hours. And then it kind of transitions into after school programs, evening programs, and then of course weekend programs. So Silver Spring is our newest center, and that it actually also has a swimming pool. So that is a real hub. That is community rec, a senior center, and a swimming pool to take advantage of. So a lot to see there, and that would be our newest. And these are the senior neighborhood programs. As you can see, there's about, I don't know, 13 or so of them. And so those are the ones that meet within those recreation or neighborhood recreation community centers. And you'll find that the career staff there can help direct you and answer questions about it. A few of them do offer the lunch program, and one does have transportation like our senior centers do. So those are kind of scattered throughout the county, as you can see, and they provide another option if you're not close or maybe just not interested in getting to one of our senior centers. Not everybody is ready to accept that they're old enough or considered a senior, and we certainly understand that. I think you'll find when you enter our facilities that we have a whole lot of energy and positive feelings and just a variety of people from a variety of backgrounds that you can meet and reflect with and take advantage of classes with. So you find a little bit of everything at our centers. Trips and tours. Here's our traveling programs. We actually have it just like hot off the press today. You can almost see that as the summer guide. So we have registration coming up in a couple of weeks. The trips fill up fast. If this is something that you're interested in, you definitely want to get in there, start taking a look at what trips are coming up, what you might be interested in going on. Our coworker Paula runs both the SOAR and the Day Trippers. Day Trippers is more intergenerational. It's for all ages. SOAR is for those just 55 plus. So as you can see, you can discover new and exciting destinations. You have a trip for everybody. We have some favorites. We have some new ones that are added each season, a little bit of everything in the general area and states surrounding us. And we really want you to live life and explore everything around you. Certainly you'll be surrounded by a lot of wonderful people taking the trip with you. If you don't know anybody, and you're going to go solo, you won't be solo for long. You'll be in good company. So we definitely encourage you to take a look at that. And all of the trips leave from the Alney Manor Regional Park. So that is where everybody would park and pick up the bus, nice coach buses. And again, at the end, we'll have all of the contact information. You definitely want to check out the guide on the website, which I'm sure will be posted there anytime now, the new summer guide for this, and take a look at the exciting trips we have coming up. The SOAR office is also located at Holiday Park. So you'll find Paula at Holiday Park, the same as Matt and I. All right, so I'm going to hand it off to Matt now, and he's going to talk a little bit about enrolling in activities, because we know that that can be somewhat difficult and a weird process to get used to.
Alrighty, good evening, everyone. So I'm going to start covering more so of the enrolling in activities portion, and then I'll go in depth for some examples on how you can actually register for an activity. So there are a few ways to enroll in our activities here within the county. The first bullet you'll see is Active Montgomery. Active Montgomery is our online portal database system, so I'll be helping to cover that in the next two slides. You also can register at any recreation center within the county. So all you will need to do is you go to the front desk. They'll give you a paper to fill out saying, your basics, your name, your telephone number, what activities you want to sign up for, and then they'll help get you enrolled. And then something big to keep an eye out for if you are wanting to sign up for any upcoming summer programs, that will open at 9 o'clock in the morning on May 13th.
And I'll point out before we change slides, the senior programs are what open at 9 a.m. The programs that are open for all ages start earlier in the morning, more like 6 a.m. So it's just those that are for 55 and older that will open at 9.
Thank you, Stacy.
Sure.
Alrighty, so to go up, to continue, as I mentioned, for signing up for an activity online. As I mentioned, you would want to go to Active Montgomery. If you just go into your Google search bar, any web engine search bar, and type in Active Montgomery, it'll typically be one of the first two things to pop up for you. Once you're able to get within that website, there'll be a search bar on the top of the page or on the right-hand side of the page to where you can type anything that you want to look for within the county that might be a program. And this will show every program in the county. So whether it be 55 plus or aquatic or really whatever activity it might be. So using that keyword search bar, as I mentioned, you'll want to input any activity name. So for instance, you could put in basketball. And if you type in basketball, all of the activities for basketball will then pop up. However, if you were to add 55 plus, basketball, then you'll see all the activities geared towards that age group for the senior program side. Then, if you want to see all the dates, times, and locations, there will be a button as well that says select the selections area. From there, you can drill down if you're looking for a spring, summer, fall. Well, fall not more so because fall is not open yet, but in this case, more so spring and summer. That'll give you the options to choose from. And then as well, once you have selected it, you will be able to click on each activity that you want to choose for, or to see a more detailed report, you can actually drill in and see the actual activity number along with a description of what the class is offering and what it is about. We're okay for the next slide, please.
Okay.
So to go on to see more details regarding registering for this activity, there will be 3 black dots on the top right-hand side of the activity that you're wanting to choose. And then you can drop down and it'll give you some selections that'll allow you to do add to selection or add to cart of what you were wanting to select from. Then you'll have to answer all required questions. So all required questions will have a little red asterisk next to them. And unfortunately, too, if you forget to put an option or an answer in for that, it'll give you a little bit of an error saying, hey, you need to fill this out. So there's no worries that you'll miss anything that's required for question-wise. Anything that doesn't have a red asterisk next to it is completely optional to answer. Once you're done with that, there'll be a check mark that'll pop up that'll say, I agree with the above waivers, just saying, you've read everything, and then you're going to select continue. After you select continue is when you can go to proceed to checkout. Usually some activities are free. There are a few activities that do have some fees as well. So if there is a option to where you need to pay, it will allow you to do that option as well at this time. And then when you enter into that payment method, if there is a fee for the class, you'll input your card information, your billing information, email address, and then you'll click continue. And after you click continue, you should get a screen that tells you that will pull up a receipt for you actually to let you know of the classes you signed up for. And as well, if you say you actually click out of the screen and then you lose that page, that email that you've provided and one of those required questions, it'll email you a physical copy of your receipt as well, so you can see everything that you have signed up for.
Awesome. Okay, and so if you didn't get a big congratulations, you are now enrolled and you run into any issues, we have an awesome customer service team with Montgomery County Recreation that you can call and they will jump in there and navigate and help out. So there's always help to be had. We do from time to time at some of our senior centers have in-person programs to go over how to register. We can help get, a profile built and walk you through the steps. We have some very popular classes and trips that fill up really quickly. So we do find that it's advantageous to kind of go in there, be familiar with it, go ahead and add interested activities to your cart, to your wait list. And so that way, when you do go to your cart the day of registration, you're able to take those activities off of your wait list and get registered to them, hopefully a little bit more efficiently, smoothly without any issues. But again, we'll end with, some important phone numbers for you. You can always reach out and then we're happy to help. Our senior centers, they really are a fantastic place to be. Every day is another cool story, that of somebody you'll encounter. I think we have a birthday coming up from one of our participants that's 104. And I swear it's coming to the center, eating that lunch, doing Tai Chi, taking advantage of all the programs that helps keep him young. So I certainly hope you'll give us a try. And in addition, of course, to what the slides went over in the different classes, again, we have a lot of aquatics classes, we have sports leagues. Honestly, we have a lot to offer the seniors. We're very lucky in Montgomery County to have so much programming available. So hopefully you'll take a look at it. That mocorec.com is going to probably answer a lot of questions and, get the right information in your hands, and certainly reach out if you're having a hard time getting any of that. All right, so that is the senior programs portion. Now we're going to launch into the Maryland Senior Olympics. Is there anything in the chat? I keep meaning to ask if there's any questions.
It does look like there is a question up here that could have an array of answers, but it looks like Doran actually had asked, are there a lot of activities that fill up quickly if we don't get registered quickly?
Yes, so there are many. So I would say Wheaton in particular, Wheaton Senior Center, their classes are all going to fill up. The exercise classes will go very quickly, and they have implemented a wait list process. And then the trips are definitely going to fill up quickly. You'll find some of the programs at the senior centers, like maybe the ceramics group, some of the more specialized things. You'll definitely want to connect with your senior center ahead of registration to feel them out for that. They will fill up quickly, and bone builders, which is extremely popular and offered at many of our centers, of our recreation centers, that fills up in a matter of minutes. So there are some that are going to be hard to get into. Please don't give up. There's lots of other choices to keep you busy while you're waiting to get into those classes. But some of them will fill up quickly. And then I'll say on the other end, we have a lot that we can hold, 100 in the gym for a Zumba class or for a balance boom class, let's say. So you'll find that there would be plenty of opportunity to get involved in those classes.
And then it looks like there was another question too. I'm assuming this is probably opening up to get a active Montgomery account. Zaida, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, apologies if I did not pronounce it correctly, is wondering, is it difficult to open an account?
If you are one that's on the computer quite a bit and you're kind of used to setting up accounts, then I will say no, it's not going to be real difficult. But you definitely don't want to do it when you're in a hurry and trying to get registered. You want to get in there, I find in general with any site I'm not familiar with, it takes me a little bit of time to find all the different areas that I need to click on. And my goodness, with autofill, Lord knows what is being filled with. You got to keep an eye as you go. So you're going to want to go ahead and set up that account when you have some time to do so. I will say that it does walk you through. It's definitely going to lead you in the right direction to get it all done once you're connected on the website. And so I want to say it's not real difficult to create an account, but I can understand why some people would think that it is, and it's not maybe as intuitive as it could be. So certainly reach out so we can help you with that.
I think we're okay for the moment.
Okay, there is a error in the mailing list form. Is that for somebody else? Maybe. Okay. Oh, I see. Very good. Thank you. Okay, so that being said, we'll get into the Maryland Senior Olympics. And of course, if you think of any other questions as we go, we'll finish up with those. All right, Maryland Senior Olympics. We have the Maryland Senior Olympics Commission. It is a nonprofit organization, and the Maryland Senior Olympics are for those aged 50 and above. We do have over 30 different sports and over 100 events, more than 100 events that we offer. We are getting started next week. It's very exciting. We're meeting with you right ahead of the start of our exciting 2025 season. And we will go through into October. So we have many months ahead of us of these great 30 events. Athletes compete within their own gender and their own age group. I always like to say those 90-year-olds really will embarrass a 50-year-old. They've been at it a while and they've got some skill. So we don't want the 50-year-olds being scared away. So we keep everybody within their own age group, 50 to 54, 55 to 59, 60 to 64, and so on. We'll go as high as the numbers that come to us. We've had those in the 100 plus, and it's fantastic. So you just have to focus on competing within those 5-year age groups. To participate is to win. That is our motto, and we mean it. It's not so much the participation trophy that we all hear about. It's not, I wouldn't quite go that far. It can be hard to get a medal. It can be hard to reach that goal. However, it really is about what it's doing for you, and your health, and how it's connecting you to other people you're in your age group that are interested in the same activities. It's the fellowship, the camaraderie. So we mean it's to participate is to win. You're a winner just for being out there. Season typically runs May through October. As I said, we are starting next week with the cycling 10K time trials. And I know we'll hear from George in a little bit about his experiences. And then we do have events across the state. So even though Montgomery County does end up hosting quite a bit because we have a pretty good connection with the rec department to get those facilities at a very decent rate. We do work with other venues and areas throughout the state. So you'll find that we're in PG, Anne Arundel, Howard counties, Carroll County. So we go a little bit of everywhere. Our triathlon is probably the farthest away. It's over in Rock Hall, and that's one that we've just added last year. So we tag on to an existing race, and we show up and get to give out medals for our seniors. So we have a couple of arrangements like that work out really well for us. So we're a little bit of everywhere. Okay, registration. So right up through 2024, you could go online and register, or you can mail in a registration form. We no longer are doing the paper route anymore. No more paper. We are online only. And again, to answer the question in advance, is it easy to set up an account? I'd like to think so. Certainly, Matt and I are happy to help with that process if you run into difficulties getting registered online. But you'll find all of those links on our awesome website, mgseniorolympics.org. You'll find the whole list of events, the details around each one, the dates on that homepage. We've got a great chronological order so you can see what's coming up next, when the deadline for those events are. And then there's a whole events tab that goes into more detail. We also have a new tab this year, which is our flyers. So we actually have a flyer created for every event. So if there is a sport in particular that you're interested in or you participate in, and you'd be willing to share that information with those that you do the sport with, we'd love for you to go in there, grab that flyer, share it with those that are also playing basketball or doing cycling or bowling or billiards. We've got one for everyone. And if they're not there yet, they're on their way. Sometimes it's held up with me in the proofing stage, but we're getting there. We'll have them all loaded eventually. All of the fees and registration information you'll find there on the website. And then the full information and registration guide is complete, and we have the digital version posted on the website. So you can actually go and flip through that now. And it is at the print shop. So it is automatically mailed to athletes that have competed in the last 2 years with us. They'll get one in the mail, and then everyone else, we're happy to send them out. If you have a local library or a Y or community center and they've said, sure, you guys can put some flyers up, please reach out to us because we're happy to give you some extra event flyers or some of those info guides to help spread the word and get them posted. So right now that digital copy is available online. And I have to tell you, as we go, these are all legit our photos. They were all photos of our seniors at our senior centers, and now they're all photos at our events of our Senior Olympics events. So it's really fun to see. Obviously, our colors show well, and some of these are the free T-shirts that people get each year, and they're fantastic. We always get so many compliments on their shirts. Okay, so getting involved. These are ways people always say, do I have to do anything to be able to qualify to compete with the Maryland Senior Olympics? And the answer is yes, you have to be the right age. You have to be the age 50 and above. That's it. That's literally all we expect. Now, common sense says if you haven't gone out and run the 400 in a little while, you may want to train a little bit. And we do ask that you do that and give it some thought before you jump out there. However, we do try to put together some clinics and demos. We have some tournaments and we have presentations like this. We do tabling events. We'll show up at a local senior center or community rec center or anywhere and do a table with our information so we can answer questions and help spread the word about everything we have going on. And you can also volunteer with us. So maybe you're not quite ready to commit and you want to see what we're about. Certainly a way to do that is to sign up and volunteer at one of our events. We'd be glad to have you help us check everybody in, give out the awards, get to watch some of the tournament or the play or the action. And that way you get a little bit of a better idea what it's all about if you're not quite ready, which we completely understand. All right, so I'm going to hand it off to Matt. He's going to talk a little bit about some of those programs that we run.
Alrighty, so here comes the fun portion of what I get to do with my role. Even if it's not necessarily me, out there in the senior centers helping to do these, a lot of the senior centers or even rec centers have these opportunities always available. One of my favorite activities that I like to do over at one of our local senior center are basketball skills competitions. To where they get to learn how to shoot the basketball. They do some dribbling competitions, but then, with the Maryland Senior Olympics side, it's foul shot, free shot, and also shooting for time. So we try to do those as well to get these seniors involved. Billiards, a lot of our recreation centers have billiards rooms. Mainly always all the time. They're available for drop-in. A lot of times too, if you want to do drop-in, you'll just go to the front desk. You'll give them your rec pass. They'll give you a package of balls and some pool sticks to play with, or even sometimes tournaments that you might have available at your senior center or rec center. A lot of times there's always table tennis opportunities in rec centers. Sometimes it's one table. Other centers have 3 or 4 tables to where there's drop-in opportunities or tournaments or even demos available as well. Going into our cornhole demos I always enjoyed doing as well. We recently got some nicely done boards with the Maryland Senior Olympics logo on them to where we can do demos for them as well. And actually on May 1st, we'll be a part of an expo over at Borer Park in Gaithersburg for the Active Aging Expo, to where we will actually have a cornhole demo led by our cornhole coordinator with the Senior Olympics. As Stacy had mentioned, some of our senior centers, they do have laid down shuffleboard floors, and even another center has dedicated shuffleboard courts that can roll out where you can play whenever you would want to, sometimes scheduled play, but then they always welcome all skill levels for these. Bowling is one of our newer Senior Olympic activities that we recently brought back. Some in some senior centers we do offer this, and we try to get the seniors involved from doing these, whether it be a 1 p.m. special activity or a demo as well. And pickleball, the big thing for pickleball. A lot of indoor courts, a lot of outdoor courts as well. To really, all you need to do is bring a paddle. Sometimes there's always portable courts to where you can just go in, you can set them up, and then you can play with all your friends and peers. And walking groups as well. You might think, oh, hey, just walking, but walking events are actually an event within the Maryland Senior Olympics to where we have power walking and race walking events, as well, excuse me, with a 1 mile precision walk. This summer, actually, we're doing some walking club programs within our senior centers and ending it all this summer in August with a 1 mile fun walk. Really, you tell us, hey, how long you think it takes you to walk a mile, and then however close you are, I should say, based off your guess, you can get a medal within the Maryland Senior Olympics. And bowling. Bowling is a pretty big event too within the Senior Olympics, typically over 100 plus people. But something we try to do annually, or if we can't do it annually, we like to do it as much as we can, is just hitting the lanes. This past January, we held our Seniors on Strike bowling trip to get all 8 senior centers involved. We helped bus them over to the bowling alley, and they all get 4 lanes and typically around 80 to maybe 100 people, to where they just get 2 hours of bowling with each other and get to have a good day of fun. Um, and to end all this too, as Stacy had mentioned on the previous slide, if you're thinking about getting involved with the Senior Olympics and you're maybe not have tried a sport before, these are all great opportunities to try them within your local recreation center if you're thinking of getting involved.
Excellent. Thank you, Matt. All right, so contact MCR, Montgomery County Recreation. We have our senior programs line, which is 240-777-4925. There's several of us who have that phone number ring to us, so chances are pretty good of getting a human. If not, we return messages fairly quickly, so that's a great way to reach out to us at Montgomery County Rec. This is a more detailed listing of all of our staff and who is located at which centers. You'll notice we all have the same setup for our email. It's going to be our first name, period, last name at montgomerycountymd.gov. So there's a center director and assistant director at several of the 3 standalones, and then we've got a coordinator and a rec spec at the others, and several over at Holiday Park. So all of our contact information is here. And then contact MSO. So we've got that email address, which is info@mdseniorolympics.org. We've got the 240-777-4930 phone number. And of course, we have the mdseniorolympics.org website, which you can also link to from the rec website. So if you land there first, we'll try to make it pretty easy for you to transition between the two. And of course, that QR code will get you there as well. So I'll just say, I know we could go on and on. We've got qualifying years versus non-qualifying years. The Maryland Senior Olympics are part of the National Senior Games, which is very exciting. The National Senior Games are taking place this year, this July into August in Des Moines, Iowa, which means this year we're just having all of our events for a really great time. You're not qualifying to go anywhere further. You're just competing at the state level, maybe trying something new. It's a great year to do that. And then fast forward to 2026, it's going to be what we call a qualifying year. And so you will have the opportunity, if you place in the top 3 or 4 of your age group, to go on and be welcomed to pay your own way to compete at the National Senior Games, which in 27 is going to be in Tulsa. And then in 29 is going to be in Birmingham. So lots to look forward to on that level. If you're interested in going and meeting other people and that way, certainly a great avenue to travel our country and see all these great places and meet new friends along the way. And the size of our events definitely varies from event to event, maybe year to year, depending on whether you're qualifying or not. We could have some like the Wii Bowling, where maybe have a dozen to 20 people, same as horseshoes. And then you have pickleball, which closes on Friday. It is quickly approaching. We have over 500 registered. So Last year we had 700 across 4 days. This year we'll probably have a little over 500 across 3 days. So we're excited about one less 16-hour day of pickleball. I know, hard to believe. We wouldn't be excited about a whole extra day of that. But anyway, we're really looking forward to it. So certainly our numbers run the gamut depending on the sport and the location. We have wonderful volunteer coordinators that run each of these sports. Matt and I, all of the administrative end and get them the data and the reports and the information that they need. And then we have these volunteers that are really, they're pros in that sport that put together the schedule and help us actually run a very successful event. And we really have a great reputation for running great events. I mean, we have a lot of fantastic help to make that happen. So we're very appreciative for everybody that puts their passion and their love into our events. If you go to our website, you will see the whole list of events. Again, there's over 30, so I'm not going to read them all to you, but we do have archery, cycling, trap shoot, bocce, racquetball, swimming, a little bit of everything, track and field, sports events. So we hope that you'll take a look and think about going to join us. And I believe that is it.
On that note, maybe we can have George Smith talk about his involvement in the very first event, the 10K time trial. What do you say, George? I'm going to do that.
Because we need to let him.
There we go.
Way, look at
Okay,
what we have
can
there.
everyone hear me?
We can.
Okay, good. Okay, so I guess I'm the human interest portion of the program. So Senior Olympics has been a really fun and positive experience, and I'm willing to bet that what I've experienced is pretty typical. Maybe Stacy can testify to that. So 5 years ago, on a whim, my biking buddy Paul and I decided to try the bicycling time trial. And this is a solo ride against the clock over rural roads. We didn't know what to expect. Certainly the name Senior Olympics added an aura of excitement, and it motivated us to bike together at least once every week and more on our own as well. So I can hear Stacy thinking, yeah, practicing and socializing, that's what it's all about. And that really was true. Paul and I joked about strategy, kept each other practicing, and gave each other the confidence to register and actually show up for the event. So we drove down to Davidsonville, Maryland, which is a rural area, I guess just west of Annapolis, and lined up single file along the roadside with 50 to 60 men and women and their bikes. And we were in all shapes and sizes and colors. Some had expensive time trial bikes. Paul and I had more typical road bikes, and others had bikes that were truly casual. Cyclists can certainly be competitive, but I think since we were all older and wiser, the whole event was pretty relaxed and friendly. What we'd most often hear was, "I hope you do well." Nonetheless, we were still anxious. So when we were started one by one every 30 seconds. And Paul and I turned ourselves inside out, biking as fast as we could over the course. As Stacy mentioned, our times would only be ranked against others in our 5-year age group. But, in the end, we were really competing against ourselves, just wanting to do as well as we thought we could, or as well as we thought we should. After the race, everyone drove to the bike shop that the Senior Olympics partners with for the cycling. And there we socialized, were treated to beer and soda, other refreshments, got the official results, and then applauded the men and the women who won medals and ribbons in their age groups. And we all got cool t-shirts, the crab holding the torch and so forth. Now, to be sure, there are really a lot of good athletes at these events. They were probably good when they were young, and now they're simply older and they're still good. And they're probably practicing a lot more because they're retired. Neither Paul or I won a medal or a ribbon that day, but we really did have a lot of fun. Since then, we've won a few ribbons, no medals, but we're now totally relaxed about the whole thing. But we're still practicing and still enjoying ourselves and still talking strategy. And now I can hear Stacy saying, yeah, they stuck with it. So that's what it's all about. So to Stacy, Matt, and the others who make this happen, thanks for helping us keep the dream alive for us seniors. And I just want to say, finally, if you happen to be interested in trying a time trial bike race, let me know. I'll give you an on-the-bike orientation. So the time trial for the 10K course is the earliest senior Olympic event. It happens to be next Wednesday, so we need to meet up this weekend, and that's possible. But there is another time trial over a shorter 5K course on June 4th, which would give you more time to practice. So I'll put my email address in the chat box. And if you're interested in getting together or even talking, just let me know. And we can find a time to either meet or talk. And that's my testimony.
That's excellent, George. George is what it's all about. That's what we like to hear. It got you going. It got you to stick with something. You have a great time doing it. And to George's point, if you visit our website, you'll see that we have a Flickr account. You can go in and see all the fantastic photos of all these events and kind of get a better idea maybe of what to expect at each one. We also have a whole records tab where you can look and see, as George alluded to before we got this program started, he's eyeing the swimming, is trying a new event. You could take a look at what people in your age group have done different events, what time, what distance, etc. So you can get a very good idea ahead of even coming out to participate with us, how your age group looks, and maybe a little bit more about what to expect. And we are always happy to try to connect you to like a George and somebody maybe in another sport that you're interested in, to chat with if it's something that puts you a little bit more at ease ahead of time. Thank you, George.
And I'll
My
just
pleasure.
speak real quick. This is Doran Flowers from Little Falls Village. George's offer is real because I asked him to go out with me on last Sunday morning, and he said you will probably finish after. So congratulations. I think you should do it. Did you say that, George? But my intention, and I'm glad George is doing another event because I'm super excited about the opportunity for villages to be more involved in the Senior Olympics going forward. And so I'm going to try to do as many events throughout the course of this entire 2025 Olympic season as I can. And some of that will probably be very embarrassing, but I intend to have a good time doing it. And so I will be joining George at the very first event here, the 10K time trial. And then I'll just start looking at the calendar and the things that I can make it to, I will go to, which includes trap shooting, although I have no idea how to use a gun, so we'll see how that works. But and then I know there's some great events. If you're a village member, and hopefully you are, if definitely look for a village in your area if you're not. We're hoping to put together some village teams for the cornhole and shuffleboard and some things that are just really easy and a fun hangout to do. So I'm pretty excited not only about starting this off next week, but also finishing up with a lot of people from different villages competing together in October when it comes to an end. So I'm excited about it. Thank you, Stacy, Matt, and George for all coming on and talking about the different opportunities we have here in Maryland.
Yeah, thanks for having us. It's really, we hope to see you out there with us this year. Please don't be intimidated. Give it a try. You'll have a great time.
I'm going to go ahead and stop.